Welcome back, everyone, to another new edition of Mompreneurs. We are here with Rachel Drody, and just to fill you in, she is a kick-butt mompreneur who has been through way too much, to put it nicely. And she, in the first segment, told us a lot about her story from single mom to new business partner and husband at the same time to, unfortunately, his passing and dealing with grieving as well. We're going to dive deep in this segment on the grieving process and how that works, because it's hard enough to grieve, your business partner. It's hard enough to grieve your husband, but how do you do that successfully as an entrepreneur and as a mom at the same time, and to deal with all that? I don't even know where to start. I guess I would say, how do you feel, what do you feel was the hardest piece there? I mean, and I don't know if there is one or if it's all together, but I mean, you've got all of that, the business partner, the husband, and the kids. I'm just curious where you thought the hardest piece was.
I think it was definitely, it was losing my husband. There's nobody to hug you. When you are broken and you want just somebody to hold you and you're caring for two little people, there's nobody to crush back onto. And I miss that. And that was hard. And then, the business partner, he was so good at running, and doing. He was, the business end of it. And it was nice having the feminine and masculine energy that came in for whatever it might be. And I carry both the weights. And I think a lot of female, entrepreneurs, we feel that we've got to carry that masculine, I got it, everything else, and that charging forward, and then being able to balance that with the feminine caring energy that comes along with it. That's also super powerful, but they come at it at a situation two different ways. And we have to flex both of those. And there I was able to put that sword down for a little bit. And I didn't have to go charging in with that. I felt like, how do I get that back? And then watching my two kids hurt that much, and then them watching me hurt that much. And they were little. They were in kindergarten, when this happened. And that's huge. They don't know how to handle this stuff. I don't know how to handle this stuff. I, had not lost anybody that close, and where it was going to affect everything. And how do I do all of this stuff? Luckily, there's a lot of strategy that I had been working on my entire part of running this company, and it's one of those back end things, like if we have to handle these different things. And I came from mitigation, and homeland security, and how do you stop problems, or what do you do? How do you get ahead of some of this stuff? And I like to call it like where my anxiety gets paid to live. It's like, I just feel like that's the best place to call my strategy planning. It's where your anxiety just yells in your head, this is going to happen. Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, that was not one of the things I thought about.
Of course not.
Right? We were young and everything was great. Planning. What is going to happen? Where are we going? Where's documented process? Yeah. That's huge. And I think a lot as entrepreneurs, we're just like, I got it. I don't need to write it down.
Well, it's in our brain. It's in our brain. And I had a concussion last year, and my team couldn't take things that were in my brain, and I couldn't access them either. So it is. You're so right. And as moms, we have so much in our brain. So how did you get that down? Talk to us about that, some real strategies, because women who are listening to this, who are in a business partnership or have a life partner, this is not something that we talk about. We don't like to talk about death. We don't like to talk about loss. We don't like to talk about grief. It's hard. Remember, guys, I said trigger warning. So what are the things that the mompreneurs out there, whether they're single, whether they have a business partner or a life partner, what are the things they really can do now anticipating this? Because life happens.
Life happens. This is a good reminder to do your homework. Do your homework. Do your life insurance. Do your business insurance. Please get insurance on your business and your key players, because if something happens, you don't want to be caught where we were going, oh my goodness. We're having to go back and fight old key player insurances too. So it's not fun there, and we're still fighting that out. But it is doing your homework. What is everybody's job? I wear 15 different hats, but I need to write them down. You need to write down what you do all day long. And it feels like 15 million different things. I don't care if you carry that notebook around with you and start jotting, I did this, I did this, I did this. And I had to start doing that with planners. And I bought planners, and I don't like writing the handwritten ones, but every 15 minutes I had a blank in it. That's what I did. I did that for a while, and it started making me realize these are all the tasks that I'm not thinking about that are documented. If something happens, nobody knows how to do payroll. Something happens, there's a potential that you could get sick. This stuff still needs to be documented and put down in something.
And done.
Right? So it's what happens if something happens to you. Who's the next person in charge of doing all of this stuff? Nobody wants to do this back-end homework because you know what? It doesn't make you money. It does save you behind, though, when something else happens. That's what happened with me. It was document. Had to get that stuff in. And then talking to your people. I pull them in, and I'm always trying to level them up. You need to know how to do other people's jobs because you understand what the left hand is doing while the right hand's working. That was important too, is pulling that up to the front with all my employees. What are you doing? What are you actually doing? Not just, oh, they do websites or they do social media. No, what are you actually doing? And someone else needs to know how to do it. So that was huge. But geez, getting behind the grieving, because I was out. It was months before I was even back into the seat, like even thinking about getting back into the seat, because I'm dealing with, fighting to get his body released from the hospital. That took forever. Fighting to get a death certificate. That took too long. Then, insurance benefits. Then the amount of, when you own a small business, I made the mistake is I put it on my social media. Hal had passed away. I came immediately under attack. Our bank accounts were hacked. His TikTok was hacked. Money was pulled out of that. We went under fire.
Oh my gosh.
So not only am I having to do that, now I'm worried about it is someone in my local area who knows me. That started it.
Wow.
And so it's putting that stuff out, those types of things. It was hard because I was getting hit not only, nobody's holding me, there's nothing going on. I got to cook dinner for my kids. I have to get up. I've got to take a shower. I've got to come off the floor.
So, Rachel, I'm going to ask a deeper question because I think you just brought something up that was really, really crucial, and that's about safety. We're moms. We're entrepreneurs. When something happens, you posted about Hal's passing, and your business went under fire. So there's a time and a place, because you're a marketing expert too. So how do we as moms balance that safety if life happens, or if something like this were to, heaven forbid, happen to one of our viewers, or even as much as like our children and keeping our children safe with knowing where we are or are not? What would you say to the moms out there for the safety aspect of that? Because that's applicable in any process.
So safety is a big thing that we're talking about all the time with my clients, because safety with Homeland Security was a big thing. And then I have been, with medical practices. And so, we're a BAA and HIPAA partner, and, we're following all these guidelines. And then you've got this social media animal. And part of your brand and who you are as a business owner is you. You're part of it. Your brand, who you associate with, everything is now tying into your business. And so putting out where you are all the time, tagging, I can't just put out there on social media, hey, I'm out here, and that sounds great, until after I leave. Because, we're dealing with stalkers, we're dealing with bad people. And, I've been in the public light for a long time. I've, been a top show radio host out of Lafayette, Louisiana. I did a morning show there. I started being under fire at that point. And my dad was a forensic investigator, and safety's always been a big thing. So watch what you're posting and what you're tagging into. Watch what's going on with your kids' accounts too. What you put out there. Know the difference between public, friend, and who your groups that you're talking to. Make sure that you're always selecting those when you're on your social media platforms, who you're talking to, and notice what people have access to the information you're about to put out there, right? And there's big chances as moms. Do you put your kids? Do you want your kids involved with this stuff? Do you want to tie in your family? And those are really specific to each family and what you're going to allow. Some moms are great with having their kids part of their business, and I think that's wonderful. When some of us, we really need to pull our kids away and make sure they're not part of that limelight and they're not part of the brand. So that's a big thing in separating those out for that. Watch what you're putting out there. Safety tools and stuff. I do Google alerts. I always suggest that somebody's always putting Google alerts when stuff goes out there about the internet. You should have alerts set up for you, your business. And then I even put stuff underneath my kids as well. And those are things that I want to see all the time, and that I'm checking for alerts in case any of our names are going out there, or things like that. I reverse search images on us, not only myself but my kids, and that's an easy to do thing on Google. And just putting your picture in, seeing where it's coming up, you can find fake profiles for yourself pretty quickly too. And so I go in there and I shut those down as well. But when it came to house, it was, people were attacking our PayPal accounts. And you think those are fine, but people are trying to log into those, trying to log into his TikTok. They were trying to get into the funds.
Wow.
And so we had people trying to hack our bank accounts as well too. So he was a lot more out there with putting out his information, and that had to come into a short where we had to start shutting down his stuff, which was hard. And
you're already grieving, and to have to then worry about, okay, I need to shut down all of these things as soon as possible because now we're under fire. It's like an escalating snowball impact. So we do need to take a brief break. I don't want to open up a new topic, but I think the big take homes I have, correct me if I'm wrong, are make sure you're safe online. If you're going somewhere, post after you leave. If something happens in your life, don't put it out there unless it's to only the trusted people, because you never know. And while we are open, trusting, and we're moms, we're nurturers by nature. We love people and helping other people, but not everybody is a good actor. There's a lot of bad actors there, so we have to have that safety. But most importantly, we need to prepare for the contingency plan of what might happen. If we lose a business partner or a key person in our business, are we insured? Do we have our processes documented so someone else can come in? Whether it's being sick or something that happens in life is irrelevant. We have to, as business owners and as moms, protect both sides, the personal and the professional. We will be right back after these messages.